On a seemingly ordinary day, the hallways of the Vladislav Ribnikar School in Belgrade were filled with laughter and chatter, oblivious to the horror that was about to unfold. Among the sea of young faces, there was one that seemed no different from the rest. Kosta Kekmanovic, just a boy of 13, sat quietly at his desk, his demeanor calm, his expression unassuming. Yet beneath the veneer of this ordinary schoolboy persona, a sinister plot was brewing. A plot that was to shatter the tranquility of this seemingly normal school day and shock a nation to its core. Kekmanovic, you see, was not just another student. He was a harbinger of an unimaginable terror that was soon to be unleashed. In the secrecy of his home, the young boy had been meticulously planning an act of extreme violence. His instruments of terror were not items you'd expect in the hands of a child. They were two guns, disturbingly accessible, borrowed from his father's collection. He had been plotting this attack for an entire month, his young mind consumed by a darkness that is hard for any of us to fathom. His targets were chosen with a chilling precision: his classmates, his teachers, the very people who were part of his everyday life. The school, a place of learning and innocence, was about to become a stage for a horrifying spectacle of violence and fear. As the unsuspecting students filled the classroom, Kekmanovic's heart raced with anticipation. The tranquility of the school was shattered when the first shots rang out in the hallway. The once lively corridors, filled with the echoes of laughter and casual conversation, were abruptly silenced by the deafening sound of gunfire. A chilling wave of terror swept through the school, replacing the familiar sounds of a typical school day with screams of fear and disbelief. The security guard, once a comforting presence of safety within the school's walls, became the first victim of this unanticipated horror. He had been caught off guard, his life abruptly ended by a young man whose intent was as cold as the bullets he fired. 3 girls, their lives brimming with dreams and potential, found themselves caught in the crossfire of this terrifying spectacle. Their futures, once bright and promising, were tragically cut short in a hail of bullets. Amidst the initial shock and confusion, the students scrambled for safety. Their minds filled with fear, they ran in every direction, their only goal to escape the nightmare that had invaded their sanctuary of learning. The mundane worries of homework and tests were replaced by the desperate need for survival. The school, once a place of learning and growth, had become a terror-stricken battleground. The chilling sounds of gunfire continued to echo through the hallways, each shot a brutal reminder of the reality they were facing. The once vibrant hallways were now a scene of chaos and fear, the laughter and chatter replaced by cries of terror and the deafening sound of gunfire. But Kekmanovic was not finished. With chilling determination, he made his way to a history class. This young man, who had once been just another face in the crowd, had transformed into an instrument of terror, his actions casting a dark shadow over the innocence of youth. His journey of terror was far from over, and the history class would soon become the next scene of his horrifying spectacle. Without any warning, Kekmanovic opened fire in the history class, unleashing a hail of bullets that tore through the room. The classroom, once a place of learning and curiosity, was instantly transformed into a scene of unspeakable horror. The teacher, a devoted educator who had dedicated her life to shaping young minds, was caught off guard. She fell victim to Manovic's merciless onslaught, her life cruelly snuffed out in the blink of an eye. 5 students, their futures filled with endless possibilities, were also tragically cut short. These were young individuals, their lives just beginning to take shape, their dreams as diverse and vibrant as they were. In one dreadful moment, their aspirations were shattered, their voices silenced forever. As the sound of gunshots echoed through the school, panic and fear gripped the students and staff. The once mundane routine of a school day was replaced with a desperate struggle for survival. The school, once buzzing with the energy of youthful exuberance, was now filled with terrified cries for help. Students scrambled to find safety amidst the chaos, their world rocked by the sudden eruption of violence. Teachers, tasked with nurturing and protecting their students, were now forced to confront a horrifying reality they were ill-prepared for. They did their best to shepherd their charges to safety, their primary concern, the preservation of young lives. The once vibrant hallways were now stained with blood, a haunting reminder of the lives lost and the innocence shattered. The history class massacre would leave an indelible mark on the school, forever changing the lives of those who survived and serving as a chilling testament to the darkness that lurked within a seemingly ordinary boy. Amidst the chaos, the school security guard, a hero in his own right, bravely confronted Kekmanovic. In the face of such unimaginable terror, there are those who rise, those who display courage that defies the darkness. And the school security guard was one such person. His duty was to protect, and even in the face of danger, he never wavered from his responsibility. Through the pandemonium, he made his way towards the danger, towards Manovich. Fear was not a deterrent, but a catalyst, pushing him forward. He was the unsung hero, the beacon of hope amidst a sea of terror. A man not clad in a cape, but in the uniform of a school security guard. His weapon of choice, courage. He stood face to face with Manovich, the embodiment of the darkness that had descended upon the school. He was a stark contrast to the young boy, a symbol of the fight against the senseless violence. His actions, steeped in bravery, were a testament to his character, his commitment to protecting those within his care. But this story does not have the ending we might hope for. As he confronted Manovich, he became the target of the young boy's wrath. His brave attempt to halt the violence was met with the final, fatal act of Manovich's rampage. The guard who had devoted his life to ensuring the safety of others was tragically taken from this world. His sacrifice, a stark reminder of the cost of such senseless violence. His life, a testament to the courage of those who stand against evil. He became another victim of Kekmanovich's wrath, sacrificing his own life in an attempt to prevent further tragedy. His name, his sacrifice, etched in the annals of history, a symbol of heroism amidst chaos, a beacon of courage in the face of darkness. It was only when the authorities arrived on the scene that Kekmanovich's reign of terror came to an end. The sirens wailed in the distance, growing louder and more urgent, slicing through the deafening silence that had fallen over the school. The police arrived swiftly, their faces grave and resolute, ready to face the unthinkable horror that awaited them. Inside, they found a scene of devastation, the aftermath of a rampage that defied comprehension. Amidst the chaos and confusion, they located Manovich. He was still in the school playground, a place that should have been a sanctuary of innocence and laughter, now tainted by the bloodshed and violence he had unleashed. Manovich was apprehended without resistance. There was a chilling calm about him, a stark contrast to the terror he had inflicted. His eyes, devoid of remorse, betrayed the monstrous depths of his actions. As the cuffs were placed around his wrists, the magnitude of his deeds seemed to hang heavy in the air. He confessed to his heinous acts, his voice void of emotion. The details of his chilling plot, his careful selection of victims, and the ruthless execution of his plan were laid bare. The authorities listened in stunned silence, struggling to reconcile the horrifying tale with the young face before them. As he was led away, his head covered to shield him from the prying eyes of the world, the reality of his actions began to sink in. This was not just the end of Manovich's rampage, but also the shattering of his own innocence. The boy who had once blended into the crowd, unnoticed and unassuming, had morphed into a figure of terror. In the aftermath of the rampage, the school, the town, and indeed, the world grappled with this shocking incident. The echoes of Manovich's brutal acts reverberated far and wide, a grim reminder of the darkness that can lurk beneath the surface of even the most ordinary of faces. The once quiet and unassuming boy had become a symbol of unimaginable horror. His name, Kekmanovich, would forever be etched in the annals of crime, a chilling testament to the depths of human depravity and the loss of innocence.